Hey guys, Horror Man back for another review. So today I wanted to do another custom review for you. This one again comes from my buddy Custom Freek. You can follow him over at Instagram, Facebook. It's a really good spot to catch him. But he does some really cool customs. You can kind of just tell him what you're looking for and he hooks you up pretty good. So this one is a bit of a kit bash, as well as basically using custom parts, and then also Custom Freek kind of put his own spin on it, so it's pretty cool. So this is the custom ALF figure, and this is something you probably will be lucky to ever see in figure form. I think ALF is just one of those forgotten, I don't know, kind of forgotten TV shows from the 80s. You still see them kind of surface here and there in t-shirts and things like that, but you really don't see much collectibles from them. So I kind of just got tired of waiting for an official one, and I saw this kit bash idea and just had to approach Custom Freek with it. And I'll provide all the different details of where to order the parts from. We're going to go ahead and take a nice close-up of the head sculpt first, and we'll do some comparisons later so I can show you how this guy scales with other lines, and give you my final thoughts on the ALF custom figure. So without further ado, let's get a nice close-up of the head sculpt. Alright, so taking a close-up look at Gordon Shumway, aka ALF here, and just looking at this head sculpt, it is a really good looking head sculpt. I really like what they did with the hair, how it's combed over a little bit. Really love how the detail in the nose looks. Got the little nostrils in the front there. Really nice details. Now the hair on the head isn't quite as deep or textured as the body. So that's the only other little thing about this. It doesn't 100% match, but it does look really good anyway. I mean, for a custom head sculpt, it's a really good look. But again, just really nice details. I really like the eyes here, especially the shine that they get on them. Really nice. Great details inside the inner portion of the ear. Again, I really like how that hair looks, how it's kind of brushed over to one side. And again, really nice detail on the snout portion of the face. So really nice details. Now this head sculpt was done by Riboblito. I might actually screw that up, so sorry if I did. But I'll make sure to put the link in the description below. But he did the head sculpt and other parts of this, and I'll get to that later. But some of the different details that Custom Freek added were things like they were more realistic, eyebrows. So he's got artificial hair for the eyebrows, which is really cool. He also added the wart. The wart is not on the custom head sculpt, so that was some extra details that Custom Freek added that really make ALF even more realistic looking, so I appreciate that. And here's a look just at the back of ALF's head. Not as much detail here, but you do get that texturing, which is nice, and it does kind of almost go seamless into the body, which is like a perfect fit. Alright, just looking at the torso here, you can see he has a lot of texture going on in the body. Now that comes from the body that this was actually from. Now the body itself is the Teebo figure from the Black Series, the Star Wars Black Series. He's one of the Ewok characters in the 6-inch line. So the body is just an Ewok, and then the rest of the parts, the hands, the head, the feet, are from Riboblito, which does all the custom pieces. So it's a really cool kit bash, and the body really does work well with this. So I love the texture on the hair, really nice job from Hasbro on that one. And then Custom Freek did the paint job to kind of blend it with these new parts to make the ALF figure. So really cool. It's not completely seamless. There's definitely, you could see where the parts are a little different in the texturing, but I think it looks really good. And then just taking a look at the hands here, you could see he could do a little wave. He does have some really cool details in the hands. And here's a little bit closer shot of the hands. You can see the really nice details in there. He's got the little like inner pad for his palm in his hand, and you can see the more furry texture on the outside of the hand. So really nice. And he actually has some fairly good articulation in the hands as well, and we'll get into that. They're a little bit more modified than the regular sculpt would have been. So it just does give you a little bit more movement, which is really nice. And again, that's one of those things Custom Freek kind of added to the custom, just to give it a little bit more posability. And just looking at the feet here, I really love how big these feet are. And he actually balances really well. So if you just want to stand him on one foot, he could definitely do that. And just taking a closer look at those feet, you can see he's got these giant round toes on here, which looks really cool. They almost look like those giant slippers you could buy from like Spencer's or something. They're just these huge, huge feet. And those just slip over the Teebo feet, just so they fit on there right. But they just look so cool, and again, it really helps him stand. He just has no problem standing since his feet are so big. But yeah, just overall, just really nice details in this entire body, the sculpt, the paint, everything just comes together really nice. Alright, so taking a look at the articulation here, and again, if you're used to these Black Series Ewok figures, you pretty much already know what you're getting into. Now, with the added parts to make this an ALF figure, the only real issue with the articulation is the head sculpt. And the reason is because the way it's sculpted, so it's, you know, the head and the neck portion is one piece. So you really can't turn it too much, and you can see how much it's limited here. I know Custom Freek kind of tried to work some ways to change that articulation up a bit, but it just got to be way too involved. So again, you can see if you try to turn it too far, the head will actually come off the peg. So you really don't get too much articulation in the ways of the head sculpt, unfortunately. And the biggest part of the articulation on this body that's going to help is going to be that waist swivel. That's going to be what really can get this ALF, even though he can't turn his head, it's going to be able to get him in much better positions because he does have this really good articulation at the waist. So if you want to do any kind of like walking pose or something like that, you should be able to get it now just because of that waist swivel, which is really nice. And then just looking at the rest of the articulation, his hands can go up really far, which is nice. They can go out to the side as well. So if you want to do like the T pose or something like that. And then of course they go all the way down. You can get really nice articulation at the elbows. So you can see he does have not a double hinge elbow, but he does have really good range, which is awesome. So if you want to get him holding a phone or just kind of like giving the wave, you could do that. And again, with this extra bit of articulation that Custom Freeks added, you now have much more movement in that hand, which is nice. So again, really good waist turn here. You can go all the way around, and that's definitely going to help you a lot. You can't go up and down too much with it, but it's mainly going to be the swivel. You do have really good movement at the feet. You can see you can do like a kick, and you can also bend the knee a bit, but I don't know how much it's going to help you, but you can bend the knee if you want to do that. And then he can do a split. You want to do the split, decent amount. And then there is some rotation at the lower leg and the knee, and also the regular spot on the the thigh. And then you do get some kind of ankle rocker, not a whole lot, but you do get some. So pretty good range for a figure that's covered in hair. So no accessories were actually included for ALF. You kind of have to just be creative with it. And I just took a bunch of pieces from like the old Palisades Muppet line and some of the stuff from the NECA line combined with some custom things that I have. But anything in like that 110 or 112 scale will look really cool with them. McCready's sunglasses look pretty cool with them. They kind of can hang a little lower on the eyes, or you can kind of put them back. They don't stay real well, so it's a little tough to get them to stay on, but the scale is really good on them. I used some of the NECA toys, Ninja Turtles accessories like the bag of chips, and the panda, and the donuts. And then I used the Jonesy figure from Aliens for the little cat, because he actually likes to eat cats, which is pretty creepy. And I got the old 80s TV from the Halloween 3 retro set by NECA, Back to the Future skateboard. So as long as you kind of piece him together with 80s stuff, he fits in really nice. Now, unfortunately, even though I do have a saxophone, it's just too big. This is the one that came with the Ninja Turtles musical mutagen tour set. It's just a little too big. So if you could find a small saxophone, probably made by Palisades for the Muppets line, it'd probably work a lot better with him. But otherwise, you can have really a cool setup with a lot of the accessories that are already included with many figures across the board. Alright, so sizing Alf up with a bunch of different characters is going to be interesting, because Alf really is a little bit bigger than this, but it just depends on how you remember him, I guess. Because he's such an original character, you can almost just go with whatever size you want, in a way. So for the first comparison, here he is next to the Jonesy cat from Aliens, and then the John Connor from Terminator 2. And just seeing these characters next to each other, they look great. Now Alf would be like a little bit taller than he appears here, but just at first glance, I mean, looking at the comparisons, he just fits in really well with this NECA stuff. And once you add like a NECA adult size character, it gets a little bit out of scale in a way, because Alf would be just a little bit taller than this, but it's still like, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, you can make it work, especially with a character like Marty, which is 7-inch scale, but he's a little bit of a shorter character, so he kind of fits in a little bit better. So yeah, I mean, this definitely could fit in with a 7-inch scale line. You just have to not put him with such big characters. But overall, I'm really happy with the size of Alf. And here's Alf next to some of my other custom Freek pieces. I have the Jason Goes to Hell Battle Damage mask, the Part 3 Jason mask, and then the custom painted Joker head sculpt, which is the NECA head sculpt, just custom painted. And here he is next to a couple other NECA figures. You have the 1990 Raphael and the 1989 Batman. And here he is with a couple Marvel Legends. You have the time-traveling Tony Stark from Avengers Endgame with a custom head sculpt. And then you have the Jessica Jones body with the Black Widow head sculpt. And you can see they actually scale pretty good together, so he looks pretty good with 6 or 7-inch scale. And then for the final comparison, here he is next to a bunch of other crazy monsters and mutations and aliens and other things from the 80s. So you got Weird Science, Ninja Turtles, Aliens. So really anything that you could think of that fit this era would just look so cool with this Alf figure. Alright, so that's my review of the custom Alf figure. And it's a really cool figure, man. I mean, it's not the cheapest custom I've had put together. You know, there's a lot of things involved. You have to buy the Star Wars Teebo, you have to buy the custom pieces, and then you have to find somebody to either paint it for a reasonable price, or if you're lucky and you can, you know, if you're talented and you trust yourself enough, you can paint it up yourself. And if you could do it, you know, if you could feel that you could paint a really good figure, a custom figure, then you could probably do this for under 60 bucks. But for me, I mean, this cost around a little over $100, around $100 to put together, all said and done. But for me, I was just kind of, you know, patiently waiting for an Alf figure, and this kind of came up, and man, I just had to jump on it. So I kind of blame the Fwoosh Robo for that. I definitely saw him, you know, put it on one of his videos one day, and man, I just had to have it. But for Custom Freek, man, I mean, his stuff is just worth it. For anybody that wants an awesome customizer to do some work, I mean, he's quick, he's got a great price, and he does just really, really good work. So it's kind of nice just to have another one of his custom pieces. And man, anytime I add one of his pieces to my collection, it really stands out on the shelf. So I'm just really happy with how it came out. And I mean, besides like maybe having a hinged jaw, I really can't see much else you could do with an ALF figure. So I'm pretty happy with it. So thanks to both the guys for helping put this together. Again, I'll definitely put their information in the description below. And definitely a special thanks to Custom Freek for just killing it with another custom, man. I mean, this looks so good. So thanks for watching my review. If you have a comment or question, please leave it. Like the video if you liked it. And please subscribe. And until next time, guys, see ya.